For me, it's always been about the green and gold belt. I feel like throughout history, winning the green and gold belt is, you know, you made it in the sport of boxing. In my opinion, you know, it's my preference. But also my dad was a former WBC world champion, Hall of Famer. And I guess it inspired me to get my own. And yeah, my dad gave me his belt and he said, "Happy birthday, son." It was a birthday gift. He said, "Go and get yours now." And probably since that moment for me, the WBC belt was a belt that I definitely have to win before I retire. My amateur career, I never really had many fights. I didn't plan on being who you see today. It sort of just, God opened the right doors and I walked straight through them. And here I am today. But my dad was just my dad. We kept boxing and relationships separate. So it was, yeah, it was, you know, I go home and he's my dad. You know, and as for boxing, I was disciplined, but I never had loads of amateurs. And then I turned pro and the pros suited me better than the amateurs.
So you said you walked through those doors. At what point did you say, I love boxing? And you have to fall in love with the sport to be in the sport.
Yeah, I hadn't when I first started.
Okay.
There was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of naysayers. There was a lot of doubt, criticism. But once I got through all of that, I then realised, actually, I don't know who I am without boxing. Boxing is who I am. It's my DNA. It's my life. Boxing isn't just for me turning up to the gym, hitting something for a couple hours and then going home. Boxing is the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed. Boxing is my life. It's who I am. It's my identity. It's what I stand for. It's what I represent. You know, that you go in that ring, there is no other feeling like it. When you're in that ring, that tells you who you are as a man. Your skills, your mindset, your resilience, your strength, your determination, your grit. The same principles apply to life. So for me, boxing is life. In fact, I find life a lot harder.
Do you study your father's fights?
I don't.
Or do you try to emulate or copy or learn from?
No. I mean, he was a fighter. You know, I wouldn't say he was the most calculated boxer. He was a calculated fighter. And for me, I guess there is similarities between me and my dad, but I put that down to how much I idolize him and how much I love him and adore him. As to why our styles are similar, because when you love someone and you want to be them in your mannerisms, in the way you are, you become them. And ultimately, he is my dad, so you're bound to see similarities.
Okay. So the list of WBC father and sons is very short. How do you feel on having the opportunity on becoming part of that list? Father-son champ.
How big is the list?
How big is the list?
Not very big. It's Muhammad Ali, her daughter, Julio Cesar Chavez, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's a very short list.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. Yeah, if I can, listen, I need that WBC title. If I can be added to that list. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm so excited because I'm in a dilemma here of, what do I do? A massive commercial fight that's going to capture the imagination of the world in terms of the history, the levels of fights, or do I get the green and gold belt? It's a massive, I'm in a big dilemma here, but you know, no doubt the WBC title is one that it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me.
Yeah. What can a boxer come to a convention for?
What I see when I come to the conventions, and I've been to 2 of them now in different parts of the world, and you think, what a community, you know, what great people, what a great team, great setup, great fighters. Even the fighters that turn up shows how much they respect the title and how much they respect the community and what the WBC has done for boxing over the years. You don't have champions turn up to events or conventions if there was no substance behind it. So, you know, every fight that is here is a credit to the WBC.
Yeah, you know, conventions are actually an open forum.
Yeah.
A fighter can come, stand in front of the executive committee and ask for whatever he needs. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes they need a better place in the rankings. Sometimes they need a shot at the title.
Yeah.
It's an open forum, so you can go up to the microphone and say, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah. Give me that shot. Well, listen, if Barrios is here, we can fight on the when's the boxing happening?
Thursday.
We can fight on Thursday. So if we can make that happen, that would be great.
Just call him up.
Yeah, let's just give Barrios a call. So we're ready to go Thursday. You know, so no, for me it's a blessing, obviously, with the Benn name and Mauricio Sulaimán and the family. It goes way back, you know, and for me to be added to that list of parents, daughters, parents, sons, for me to be added to that list, I didn't even know that. So I didn't even know that was the list, and it's that short. So that for me would be a very special moment.
Special. And you know, I don't want to stay too much on this topic, but many fighters would have wanted to give up going through the challenges you've been through in the last 2 years. Regardless, and I know because I'm in the rankings committee, the WBC never took you out. Never took you out. They supported you. They believed you. They fought for you as well. How does that make you feel? Because you were going through those challenges, you couldn't fight in certain parts of the world. How did that affect you mentally, and how did you get out of it?
It destroyed me mentally. It destroyed me, absolutely. It was really painful. Mauricio knows firsthand because I've spoken to Mauricio throughout the period and was just heartbroken. And I think my first initial reaction was to fight it, which I did. And thank God we got the victory. But to have the WBC stand by me 2 years ago, which is a long time ago, 2 years ago, this was done. This was ended. We came to the conclusion and it was case closed. Just for me to continue fighting 2 years and the case is still closed. You know, so it was hard because it felt like the WBC really had my back and they really protected me, really saw what was going on and understood everything that was going on in the United Kingdom and still kept me in the rankings. So, you know, for me as a fighter, that means more to me than anything. You know, it's having someone fight your corner, you know, when they believe in what's right, irrelevant of what the world is saying, irrelevant of what the narratives that are being pushed, irrelevant of what the media portrays, stood with me through the fire. And for me, that means a lot to me. And I want to be a champion for you guys, you know, and for me, that's something no one can ever take away. You know, I at least expected it from the WBC, such a big organization. So there was a few people that surprised me: Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, Mauricio, the WBC. So I'm forever grateful that 2 years ago we planned on this being ended and me being able to resume my career. But unfortunately, back home, they weren't too happy about it. It is crazy because even with everything that I've gone through, let's talk about, let's have a conversation. You know, and we got to the conclusion, and that was it. Case closed. You can resume your career. I respect the team saw me as a young fighter coming through, who's a victim of what's gone on, and I sit there and I go, thank you for having the conversation. Do you know what? Thank you for the honesty. Thank you for the transparency. Because we was transparent and we come to the conclusion, we got there in the end. You know, so I did feel protected as an athlete because given the unprotection I've had in my own home city, it's a blessing. So, you know, I am forever grateful. It gave me hope. It gave me hope to keep fighting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what we talked about earlier, that it gave, you know, bad publicity, still publicity. So now you have the entire world knows who Conor Benn is.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, all publicity is good publicity. It doesn't make it any easier at the time. So when you're going through it, it's still hard.
Yeah.
It's still something you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. And I thank God it happened to me and not anybody else, because I don't think a lot of people would have been able to withstand the fire that was put in.
I know you've been going to some events. I think I saw you at the Boxer Show in Miami.
Yes.
Do the fans recognize you? Do they go up to you?
Do you know what's crazy? Is my manager sitting over there now. We was in Philadelphia just down some street, and then the guy's like, yo, man, you go hard, bro, and all that. I'm just like, that's mad, in Philadelphia. Then I went to Miami, and the same thing happened in Miami. And I'm like, man, I made it.
Yeah.
I went to Lee, I've made it. That's it. No one could tell me I made it. When you start getting recognized in 2 different states, I was only there for maybe 3 days in each state. You know, so for me to be running and getting shouting out, go on, champ, you know, from fellow Americans, I always get shown love in America.
Right.
You got to remember, my dad fought a lot of Americans. You know, Iron Barkley. Iron Barkley. Who else did he fight? Obviously, Joe McClellan. He fought another American. Robbie Sims, is it? He fought him. The name's familiar over here. You know, so for me, it's be able to carry on that legacy. It's a blessing, man.
Yeah.
What's the best thing that you've taken from the journey at this point in your life in boxing?
Definitely the past 2 years, it's taught me patience. It's given me strength, resilience, that no matter how bad things get, just take each day at a time. Someone really close to me told me that. You know, when you're on the brink of, you know, doing things that would ruin everybody's life, you sit there and you go, okay, one day, just let me get through today. Let me get through tomorrow. Let me get through tomorrow. And just got each day as it comes, it's taught me more discipline that I didn't even need, but even turning up to the gym and training when I couldn't even walk to the gym. Just get to the gym, just get to the gym. That's what I kept telling myself, because you got to remember, it felt like my own people betrayed me. My own home don't want me. So that's how it felt. So I weren't motivated to go to the gym. Just get to the gym and you'll be okay, just get there. You know, and some days I'd just sit in the gym, just get to the gym. And that was probably one of the hardest things, was staying dedicated and disciplined to the training. Meanwhile, I didn't even know if I was coming or going, but I just had to just keep training, stay on the ball, so that when I am cleared, I'm ready to go. And all I need now is 6 weeks, and I'm cleared, thank God.
And now
It becomes like your safe place, right? The gym.
Yeah, but it is my safe place. When I felt like that safe place was taken from me, I hated boxing for a period, because I was like, wow, like, no, you didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. So I was like, my relationship with boxing was like, do I even want to fight? And then I'm like, but I love fighting, but everything else, all the noise, don't let that take away the love for the actual sport. Try and compartmentalize all that emotions and focus on the fighting. I love fighting. Like, I could fight now, you know, but with all the noise, it drowned it out. But for me, going to the gym, I need the gym for my own sanity, for my peace of mind. You know, if I don't train, and it's what I noticed over the 2 years, if I don't train, I'm not in a good place mentally. I need to train every day.
I don't know how many good friends you have. I don't know if many of those very, very good friends are in the gym or outside of the gym. Do you have friends in the gym, like very close to you?
I wouldn't say very close to me. I wouldn't say very close. My gym, when I go to the gym, for me, everybody does things differently. For me, I go to the gym and it's work. I concentrate. I like training on my own. I go to the gym. I want to listen. I want to learn. You know, I want to focus. So for me, I don't want no noise, but that's just the way I work. You know, when we do our sprints and our stuff that doesn't require much attention, but rather competitiveness, then it's fun. You know, but when it comes down to actually drills, working, I like to do that on my own. Yeah.
I've heard from boxers that to be good with one punch, you have to
1,000 times.
Repeat it
Yeah.
10,000 times.
Yeah.
The jab or the hook or...
I've done my fair share of that, and it is so boring. It is so boring. I'd go in the gym and my trainer would be like, no, we're doing this. I'm like, oh, mate, I've been doing this like for the past 6 months. Yeah. You know, but I love the game. I love seeing the results. I love the product. I love getting to the point where you both look at your coach and you go, yeah, we did it. Yeah. We done it.
And I ask about the friends and the people in the gym, because You, of course, becomes part
Of your
very
family.
important part of your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Maybe your coach is your second father. Maybe your sparring partner is your second brother. So you make a life in the gym, I mean, besides your home, this is like the second home.
My boxing people are my family. It doesn't necessarily mean other fighters in the gym, but my coach, my manager, my coach's wife, his kids, they're like my family. I left my family in Australia when I was 19 to come to England, and I've been with my trainer now for almost 10 years. When I come to England, I had no mortgage, no kids, no wife, no nothing. Now I've got a few mortgages, 2 kids, a wife, and so they've seen me do the whole transformation. And the team I have around me is my family. They care for me. They care. It's beyond boxing.
Do you always agree with the instructions from your
Yeah.
corner?
My respect for my trainer is, you jump how high?
Okay.
How high? If you want me to carry this, how many times? That's it. That's it. No fighter should think they're bigger than their trainer. No fighter, because you're never bigger than your trainer. You're never bigger than your trainer. You're nothing without your trainer. You're nothing without a good coach. You're nothing without a father figure in your career. I trust him with my life. I trust him to guide me in battle. It's like I'm going into war. I trust him to guide me in taking the right steps, taking the right fights, doing the right things, working, trusting his eye and his vision of how the fight plays out. That's a lot of trust. Bearing in mind, if he messes up, I pay the price in front of 20,000 people or millions watching. I pay the price, not him. But I trust him enough to know that I trust him.
Yeah.
And I will finish my career with my trainer. I have a big thing for loyalty in boxing, which there's very little of.
So you have a team.
I do. Family.
Yes. But once the bell rings, they're back there. You're up there.
Yeah.
You're alone in front of the other guy.
I'm safe in there. I feel safe in there.
Yeah.
So even though I'm on my own in there, I feel safe in there. I feel fine. Like, he's a man.
You don't feel lonely. You don't feel alone.
No, he's a man. He's another man. Like, there's not, like, what's the worst thing you can do to me? Like, what the worst thing? And that's like the slim chance. And I'm still not worried about that. So when I go in there, I'm in I feel at home in there. I built for this. I do this every day. For the past 10 years, I do this every day. So why would I feel alone in there? That's how I feel.
Yeah. Until now, because you have a long way to go. Until now, what has boxing given you?
It's given me discipline. It's given me strength. It's given me resilience. It's given me humility. It's given me peace, calmness. It's given me a lot. It's given me my kids the life they have. It's given my wife the life she has. It's given my son a legacy to continue. So the list goes on. This is who I am. My son wants to find out about me one day, find out more about me when he chooses to. That's who your dad is. That's what he stands for. That's what he represents. That's who he is. When things get hard, that's who he is. And I like to think that my son would take not just the advice, because everyone could give advice, but just look at what I've done. It's not just advice, I've done it. And that's sort of the advice that I'd like my son to take from my career in and out the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Life is a give and take. Does boxing take away something?
Does boxing take away anything? No, I wouldn't say boxing takes away. Loads of people say, it takes away time from my kids, it takes away wedding days, it takes away birthdays, it takes away anything. But the reality is, I wouldn't want to go anyway. So really boxing does me a favour in terms of not having to attend things, because when I'm in training camp I can just fully focus, and I love being in training camp. I love being a fighter. I love everything it brings. It's taken away nothing from me but giving me everything. You know, boxing has saved me. That's how I feel.
And it's a sport
Boxing
where there's
saved
no
me.
season. You're a boxer 365 days a year, always, all year round. Do you enjoy that? The intensity and the, how do you say it? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a very intense person anyway. Like, I'm very intense. I know. Like, my wife tells me all the time, "Just calm down." I'm like, I am calm. I'm just intense. So I'm just an intense guy. So the training really matches my personality. Like, when I train, it's all about ferocity. It's all about viciousness, spitefulness, intense. That's the way I train all the time.
Yeah.
I have 2 last questions. Number 1, with everything that you've learned this far in your life, not only in boxing, but just in life, what would you tell 7-year-old Conor Benn, your 7-year-old self? What advice would you give?
7-year-old is a bit too young.
8?
I would probably go, what I would tell my younger self, and I would probably say 15, 16-year-old self, stay focused. Stay focused. Get ahead of the curve. Get ahead of everybody else. And that starts from now. From 16, just get ahead of it. Stay disciplined. I promise you, son, when you're 25, you won't regret it. Just stay disciplined. You know, because from 16 to 25, life as a young man will try to stop you from achieving, will stop you from believing, will stop you from reaching your full potential. In them years is where you shape and mold your future. Start now.
And lastly, you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Tell us what you see in store for yourself for 2025.
I'm in the light right now. There's not
Yeah.
light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I'm in the light now. The
You're in the
tunnel's
light.
gone. That's been demolished.
Yeah.
I'm in the light. And in 2025, I put up a post maybe a few weeks ago saying I will be WBC World Champion in 2025. That's the post I put up. And I will be WBC Champion in 2025.
You got that?
Yeah.
Because when he becomes champion, we're going to use this little
Amen. I just want to say, for all the kids that are starting, for all the young fighters that are coming through, that aspire to maybe be me one day, to be world champions, former world champions, people you idolise, it all starts with a thought. And it all starts with putting them places into action, because a thought without action is just a dream. And you want to make that dream reality. So you have to make sure you work hard, outwork the person standing next to you. Make sure you get your road work in, your diet in. The only sessions that count in boxing are the sessions you don't want to do. Those are the only sessions that count. So make sure you get your behind to the gym when you don't want to train. That's all that matters.
I love it.
And where can people follow you? Your social media, Instagram?
You can follow me on Instagram, which is @ConorBenofficial, and Twitter is @ConorNigel for daily training updates.